Hello, I'm Judy Stiles. Welcome to Newsmakers. It's the time of year for our annual Year in Review show. Although we can't mention all of the topics covered in the past 52 weeks, we can highlight a few and update a few others. We begin with a news story. Missouri Southern Athletics has a national champion following the men's cross-country season. Our student reporter, Patrick Wheeler, tells us more.
Hi, I'm Patrick Wheeler. Thank you for joining me. Today, I'm here with Vincent Kiprop, and I want to thank you for joining me here this afternoon as we talk a little bit here. You're not just any regular guest. I'm in the presence of a national champion here in Vincent, and of course I'm talking about cross country here at Missouri Southern. So, our first question for you is, how does it feel to be a national champion?
All right, that's a great question. It feels good. It's an achievement, and I'm grateful for that. Absolutely,
and we look at some of your achievements here and what you've done and everything, and I have to imagine it's been quite a bit of a transition. So tell us a little bit where you're from and how you were also able to find Missouri Southern.
Okay, I'm from Kericho County, Londiani Sub-County, a place called Chesiliot, that's in Kenya.
Okay.
And it happens that during my high school I used to run, and a teacher came from a place where most of the runners train, called Eldoret, and he told me about a scholarship. And he told me that if you do well in your exams, you'll have to go to the camp and then try to come to the US. So I graduated, then got my good grade. I went to the camp, and there I met a coach who told me about here. There was a friend of mine who was to come here, but he didn't make it. So when we were talking, he told me, this is a very good school. So I went to the website because that's the only way we can get here. So I went to the website, checked the school, look at the program, and then I saw that it was good for me, both academically and athletically. And so we started emailing each other with coach, and my club coach also emailed Coach Shading, and that's how I got here.
Wow. Approximately how long have you been running?
Okay, seriously speaking, when you talk about running, you can even run while playing. You have games when you are young, like hide and seek. We have soccer where you used to play on a dirt road, so we used to run a lot. And then that was not like basically running. We were doing something else while running. And then going to school also, that's when at the time you run for lunch home, and then in the evening when you are going, you chase each other. But seriously, I started running when I was 13 years old. 13. That's when I really got into running.
Wow, okay, so it's been quite a while then.
Yes.
And you're a sophomore here, correct?
Yes.
So how have you enjoyed your time so far here at Missouri Southern?
So far so good. This year has been like productive to me, not like last year where I was trying to adjust to many things here. But right now I'm really comfortable with what I'm doing. I know what to do at each and every time. Coaches have been helpful, faculty, and my teammates. So right now I can say that I'm in that position where I'm comfortable everywhere and I can do all it takes to be the best.
Well, we talked a little bit here about your athletic achievements, and so what are you here to ultimately major in here at Missouri Southern?
Okay, I'm studying to be a nurse.
Okay.
I wish I will go for a degree in nursing.
Okay, awesome. So that's pretty much your interest there.
Yes.
Now I'll shift back here a little bit. When we talk about national champions, it's a rare feat in any sport. So I guess I would ask you, why cross country? Why did that really pique your interest in terms of the sports?
Okay, I did cross country back home. I like it because in every other sport there is a tactic, and with the training that we put in place each and every day. Last year, I lost it. That was somewhat difficult for me, and I lost it at home. So I came here this year saying that this cross country I lost it last year, so I can make it this year because it was only one person to beat. So, and that's why I did a lot, and then I ended up getting what I really wanted for this year.
Great. And so what's next then for Vincent after you're a national champion and just a sophomore season here? What's next for you in terms of cross country?
Okay, in terms of cross country, I wish to play an important role with my teammates. I feel like there's nothing that's impossible. We can make a great team that can make a mark at nationals. Why not be the best? so right now I'm looking forward to like how we can work together with my teammates and make it like next year when I'm up there. I'll try to, because each and every year some good athletes come into like our competition. So I want to be up there at the same time my team is up there.
Absolutely. Well, hey, you know what? I want to thank you for joining me here again. I really appreciate you giving me some time to interview you, and wish you best of luck the rest of your endeavors here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me.
Our next item is a follow-up on campus news. As you know, Reynolds Hall on the Missouri Southern campus has been undergoing major renovations and a new addition. The new building is named after Governor Jay Nixon. He came to Southern at the end of November for a groundbreaking ceremony. Here are some highlights from that event.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the official groundbreaking for the Jeremiah W. J. Nixon Hall, a building that's destined to become one of the premier science facilities on Missouri Southern State University campus, or anywhere in Missouri for that matter. We feel special excitement on a day when ground is broken for a new building, because it marks a time when the thinking about it stage stops and the real work starts.
We are here to recognize someone who we are very, very proud to welcome to Joplin. He is a very well known official in our community, and many of our citizens have had the privilege to meet him during his tireless work in Joplin following the 2011 tornado.
So thank you personally, once again, for this tremendous honor. And I will feel very good about the fact that I know that this building will train hundreds, if not thousands, of young folks who may never know me, but will yield a better life because of it, because they chose to come to Missouri Southern and take the challenging coursework that's here to lead this region, this state, and our country forward. Thank you, and God bless.
We now turn to a few of the local topics covered this year on Newsmakers. Missouri Southern was the focus of Newsmakers a number of times. The new academic year at MSSU brought records in enrollment and a lot of optimism on campus. I visited with President Dr. Alan Marble in August. A new academic year is underway at Missouri Southern. Lots happening on campus, and today we have an opportunity to visit with President Dr. Alan Marble. Thank you for being here today.
I'm always glad to be with you, Judy.
How do you characterize the feeling around campus when you walk around this first week of class?
I don't know, there's something special this year. It seems like there's just energy and electricity in the air. It's maybe it's growing enrollment, maybe it's buildings being added, I don't know, maybe it's all that, but there's something special happening.
Well, I know that for people in the community, they've been reading and seeing what's happening on campus, so I want to follow up on some of the recent things, and we'll look forward to the future as well on today's program. I know most recently we kind of kicked off the year with the faculty and staff together and really had a session where, this, like you say, it seemed to be a lot of optimism, talking about the good things happening on campus.
Well, yeah, this is the first time, this is the first time that we've had faculty and staff all join together for me, which made the meeting so large we had to have it in Taylor Auditorium
right?
instead of Corley. But it was really a fabulous day, I think, for everyone to get together and enjoy the fellowship and learn some things about what's happened over the summer, what we accomplished last year, and what we hope to get done this year. And I did. You could feel the energy that day, and it's continuing on through this first week.
Now, something that stuck out in my mind listening to you speak is you used the term servant leadership and talking about the community on campus and serving and so forth.
Yeah, I think certainly serving should be what we're all about. We're in the service business, and serving students in our community and each other is really kind of the core of servant leadership. And anyone can be a servant leader. We can all serve, and at times we'll all be in a leadership position depending on the situation. So I think certainly that's at the core of what we're all trying to accomplish.
And you were talking to not only faculty but staff, across all levels of jobs on campus, anyone who has a role at Missouri Southern, especially those working with students.
Absolutely. And I really think the servant leadership model is great because we're leading whether we know it or not. Someone's always watching what you're doing. And if you're a senior faculty person, then probably you can help that junior faculty person. But the junior faculty people can help the senior faculty folks also because they may have new information. So it's just a matter of who's holding the baton at the time.
And a lot of what I sound like hearing about, talking about teamwork, that people working together and across departmental lines, across the titles of jobs and so forth.
Yeah, I think that's the real key, and that's why I was so happy to see us all together, is that, dropping our titles and getting away from, I'm strictly faculty or I'm staff, and everybody getting together for the unified purpose of helping students and helping our university advance is really what it's all about. And I think, we saw great examples of that in the just recently ended Olympics, with some great team success. I used the women's gymnastics team as an example. Great athletes, and any one of them could have elected to stand out and try to take the spotlight. But at different times, each one of them served the leadership role, and they all came together as a team and were completely dominant. And that's what can happen with us too.
So strength from within, what
Sure.
people have to offer. Your vice presidents, the different administrators also had reports talking about themes, reasons to celebrate, making things better. Each area, whether it was academics or facilities, we were hearing reports of things happening on campus.
Yeah, we tried to split that all up and not take too much time to keep it rolling very well. But we have some great folks here that are just doing an outstanding job. And for them to be able to share with faculty and staff what's going on in each area, I think kind of helped link it all together for everyone that day.
And it really kind of shows people there's a lot going on behind the scenes before classes begin. When you come back in August, there's been a lot of hard work on campus.
There's a lot happening, We had a great year, and so that was one thing we wanted to talk about. We had a great year. Enrollment was up. We had a fine year on campus. We had a great year in Jefferson City. Our local elected delegation just did a great job for us, led by Senator Richard and certainly Representative Flanagan, who was budget chair this year. We really did very, very well. And so that was something to celebrate.
And that really probably, that budget side of things, when Jefferson City supports the university the way it did this year financially, not only for your operating budget, in other ways as well, makes a big difference for you.
Makes a huge difference. We're going to be able to do things to Reynolds Hall, and with a $17 million worth of renovation and expansion that I hadn't dreamed of just a couple, 3 or 4 years ago. That's going to help a lot. We're doing some things with psychology. We're going to have to move to host the dental school. They'll be moving in eventually. And the first move in that, of course, is to move the Child Development Center to the Regional Center. All those things are falling in place. So it's an exciting time. And we're very grateful to the legislators that helped us get that accomplished.
So the ball's really just starting to roll. You're seeing construction right now at Reynolds, but then you're seeing child development starting, and over the next 4 or 5 years, you're going to have a lot of things different on
they're
campus.
dominoes that have to fall, and we have a timeline. It looks like we're going to hit those things, I think, right on time for UMKC Dental School to be moving in the fall of 2018.
Great. As this program is being produced, the Joplin School District has announced a new superintendent. I had a chance to visit twice this year with the interim superintendent, Dr. Norm Ritter. In September, he had a chance to talk about changes being made in the district. Well, school is well underway throughout the region, with teachers and students busy in the classroom. Behind the scenes have been working year-round, of course, our administrators. And joining me today, Dr. Norm Ritter, Joplin Schools interim superintendent. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a few weeks now since school started, but things started off well in Joplin?
They really have. We've had a wonderful start. Classroom teachers were well in place. Really, the behavior has been phenomenal, both the adult and the child behavior, and we're really being very proactive with our approach to behavior. And really, I don't know if you remember, but last fall when we first came in, that was the most important thing that we needed to focus on. And so we did, and so our response has been really, really very, very good. So, and we're being very, very detailed about that, and it's been very powerful for us.
Some of the people may not recall our discussion talking about behavior, but being a key to learning as well. That having children in an environment and respect and everything all really tying together.
Right. The behavior piece is really what's really important. You find that out in my experience over the years, is that once the behavior is in place, the academics is easy. But if you don't have the behavior in place and the expectations, the high expectations, low tolerances around behavior, and if you're not real clear in dealing with the greeting and as well as following instructions and maybe disagreeing appropriately, apologies, whatever they are, once you get that all in place and the kids know it, you just have to prompt it, and it's amazing how the kids fall in place and they know what's expected, and they respond really well. the Joplin kids are really good kids. They really are.
And this carries through all age levels, from the kindergartners through the high schoolers.
Yeah, preschool.
Preschools.
All the way through the high school, and really as you move through the system, you see more an increase in engagement. You're really looking to increase the communication, the collaboration, the critical thinking, and the creativity. And as the system matures, as the student matures, you're getting closer and closer to really having taking risk around the creativity and the critical thinking. It really gets to be a lot of fun.
I can see how they progress through the years, and especially get into high school where they need more collaboration, teamwork. This kind of naturally would lead to that type of behavior.
This is really what business is calling for. It's really what I would call the latest technology, and that is the relationships that are really extremely important. And really, I've identified in my experience 7 different types of behavioral skills that are really critical, and that is to greet, to follow instructions, to agree appropriately, to disagree appropriately, to be able to make an apology, to also to, I don't know if I said follow instructions, but to accept no for an answer is really a critical piece. And so really, as you're looking at all those seem to be the core behaviors across all cultures. And so once you master those, you're in pretty good shape.
So you're preparing the students of the education of the reading, writing, arithmetic, but also those life skills that will help them when they go into that workforce.
Yeah, those are really core values that are really important for any kind of culture of improvement in ways to get better. And so that focus has really helped us in our start this year. It's really an exciting place. You can walk into some buildings, you wonder if there's kids in that building. And it's not the fact that they want to be quiet, they're highly engaged, but it's engagement with purpose.
You can see the behavior right away.
Oh yes,
right.
it's really an exciting thing.
How about the teacher response to the new year? A lot of excitement among the teachers?
There really are. The teachers, really, I think what's happened is we learned through our research and through the strategic focus and analysis that we did that we need to really push more and more decisions to the site. And so we empowered the classroom teacher. And so really with empowerment, comes responsibility and accountability. And the teachers want it, and they really like it. And what they need help with is to understand what that means to be empowered. And so no longer they're going to be told what to do. They're basically telling us what they need, and then we help them understand and coach them along that line. And then so there's a lot of cognitive coaching type of focus in helping teachers and work together collaboratively at grade levels, maybe within departments. And so that makes them good critical thinkers as well. And then as they do that, then it just kind of bleeds right into the students, and you have students making critical decisions as well.
And the teachers are the ones indeed that are working hand in hand with the students.
Oh, no question. In fact, the main goal in this, and it'll take 3 to 5 years to get there, is that the students must work much harder than the teacher. So when the teacher leaves, they should feel refreshed at the end of the day, and the student should be exhausted. And so, but to get to that point, it's going to take a lot of work yet.
Learning's a process. You have to put some effort into it and working together.
It really is.
Well, I know shortly before the school year began, you had a State of the District report to the school board, so a chance for you to share some information with the school board. And it was a presentation, I know, with PowerPoint, but let's talk about maybe some of the key points. What were you sharing with the school board, your feelings as superintendent?
Yeah, basically what we did was, this is where we're at. This is what we found. And it was kind of a repeat a little bit of the data that we found back in December. But also, after we were able to show that we are fiscally sound, we do have good teachers. We basically do need to create an environment of empowerment and driving that decision down to the classroom. And
2016 was also a year for anniversaries. The National Park Service celebrated 100 years, and I had a chance to visit with the director of our local site, George Washington Carver National Monument. Well, the year 2016 is a special one for our country. It's a centennial for the National Park Service. And right in our own backyard, we have George Washington Carver National Monument. And joining us today, the superintendent, Jim Haney. Thank you for being here today.
Hey, thank you so much for inviting me, Judy.
Big year, a lot of national attention, 100 years for the National Park Service.
Yeah, that's correct. We're 100 years old this year. The National Park Service was established through Congress in 1916. And of course, the National Park Service is the agency within the Department of the Interior that protects some of our great areas of natural and historical significance. For example, the Grand Canyon, Yellowstone, Independence Hall in Philadelphia. So we've accomplished a lot in 100 years. We now have 411 national parks, and the Park Service as a whole is celebrating with the public and with our partners.
So really grown in numbers, but a lot of diversity of the types of things that you represent. You think of parks, you think of things like Yellowstone or the Smoky Mountains, but you have so much diversity when you say park.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, most people, as you said, associate the Park Service with the great outdoors, and of course that's a good bit of it, but there are also historical sites. I mentioned Independence Hall in Philadelphia, the White House.
Part of the National Park Service.
Part of the National Park Service. Ford Theater in Washington, George Washington Carver National Monument. So we have sites dedicated to Black history, to women's history, to Latino history. The diversity of the park system really speaks to the diversity of this country and its rich culture.
And it's evolved a lot over those 100 years as we've added to the system.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Now we have 411 national parks. And we'll keep growing.
So is it something we'll continue to grow in the future?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And we'll continue to evolve.
So continuing to evolve. Well, this is a centennial year, and of course your celebration with the American people. I know there's a lot of things happening in the individual parks, but nationwide, the observance. What are some of the common themes that we're hearing?
Okay. Just to talk about a little bit about the national initiatives. The Park Service is involved in an awareness campaign called Find Your Park. Oh. You may have even seen some of the ads running on television and on radio. So this initiative seeks to appeal to every American to find their park, a park that interests them, that speaks to them and their interest and passions. So far it's been kind of the how would you say it, the main driver of the whole centennial awareness. There's also Every Kid in a Park, which was actually a White House initiative with the goal of getting every fourth grader into a national park or federal land sometime in 1916.
So this year. So
sometime in 2016.
So the 100th celebrating 1916. We have a website that's we can be looking at while we're talking. But Every Kid in a Park program. So fourth graders, that's a good target audience to get them that age.
Oh, absolutely. They're still young, enthusiastic, but their intellectual capabilities are developing very quickly. So that's a good age to target. With Every Kid in a Park, fourth graders or their parents, can log on to the Every Kid in a Park website,
which we are showing up on the screen right now.
everykidinapark.gov, and they can actually download a voucher to take to a national park to have it redeemed for a pass that would get that child and 3 family members into any national park for free throughout 2016.
So
it's been a tremendous program. So far, about 2 million passes have been downloaded.
We're only a fourth of the way through the year.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been highly successful, and based upon the success of the program this year, the Park Service hopes to continue it in future years.
So when you bring a fourth grader, you're also bringing the family or the parents along with them. So it becomes a family visitation.
Exactly.
Tying that together. Another anniversary marked locally this year is the Carthage Maple Leaf Festival. I had a chance to visit with Janine Poe in October. Well, a special regional celebration celebrates 50 years this year, the Carthage Maple Leaf Festival. Today we're going to find out about this special anniversary with Janine Poe, who's the chairperson of the Maple Leaf. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
I know we've talked about Maple Leaf in the past, but this is really 50 years. It's quite a momentous occasion for you to be able to have that.
I think it is just a tremendous celebration to show how the community has stayed strong in creating this event for 50 years. To me, that means that it's being passed down from generation to generation, and that the fire and the spark of Maple Leaf is just continuing to grow.
You know, a lot of communities may have festivals that have that kind of history of keeping it continuously. It's quite an accomplishment.
Yes.
Someone who's watching may not be familiar with, well, how did this start 50 years ago? Where did we come from?
Well, it actually started in 1966 with the band festival through the high school. The band director wanted to have a band festival at Cahey Baker Stadium, and from there he thought, you know what, the bands need to march a little bit in a parade, and so they had a really small parade that first year. that we have found actually went the opposite direction on the square than what the parade does now. And it was just a few blocks long. And the citizens of Carthage enjoyed that so much that they got together and they planned the first Maple Leaf Festival, or first parade, in 1967.
So then from there it grew into more than just a parade.
Yes, absolutely. The first, in 1967, I believe that the parade entries were 67. Last year we had approximately 190 entries. So it tells how much it has grown in that time.
And when we talk about Maple Leaf, we're not just talking about one day, one event. I mean, I have a brochure that I picked up. You're talking about the whole month of October, basically.
It basically takes up the whole month of October, absolutely. You know, the focus is on the parade day, which is always the third Saturday in October. But strong events start the week before, and then we have other activities like the Powers Museum exhibit that start the first of the month and they go throughout.
Now, for someone who's not from the area and they're watching, and they may ask, well, where does the maple leaf come in? Little history of that tie with Carthage.
Come to Carthage in the fall and see all the beautiful maple trees, especially down Grand, but throughout the town. It seems like when the town was being built, it was, you know, adorned with trees, and it's just a beautiful, especially down Grand with the antique, you know, historic homes and stuff that we have.
So it really fits into the fall, the color at the time of the year.
Absolutely.
I know every year people are saying, are the leaves changing?
Yeah, I usually start, you know, 2 or 3 weeks before the parade watching the trees down Grand, and you know, are they going to change in time? Or are they going to change too soon? You know, you never know. It's completely unpredictable, but it's always beautiful whether they've completely changed or they've just barely started changing for us.
So this year we're hoping that fall will be a traditional fall with beautiful weather.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I know that when I looked through the booklet, it looked like there's a lot of support for this. So the organization, people might be curious, how is this organized? You're the chairperson. Must be a lot of other people helping you make this happen.
Oh, absolutely. We are sponsored through the Carthage Chamber of Commerce, and they kind of, you know, host and have the employees that do the back support of all of this, but we're made up of a committee of volunteers. I would say an average 20 to 25 people that chair the different events, and they take care of their own individual event, and then we have others that just contribute ideas and are worker bees that make it all happen. So definitely a community support system all the way through.
A lot of people have been working, have a history of helping out. You have a good, strong support.
Oh,
people
absolutely.
with experience.
Yes, absolutely.
Tying that together. Well, this year's event, we were talking about starting the beginning of the month. This program's airing kind of toward the middle of October, but you mentioned the Powers Museum. Tell me about what they have to offer this year.
They are doing a 50 Years of Memories, a look back on the Maple Leaf Festival. They typically pull in a quilt show this time of year, but they decided that with it being the 50th year, they really wanted to focus on the materials that they had that showed the history of this event, and so they're going to be pulling out their scrapbooks and stuff, and they're going to have that open October 4th, and it's going to run through the 29th.
Great. So as we close, I'd like to thank the many guests who visited our studios this year for Newsmakers. I'd also like to thank the students and staff working behind the scenes to produce the program. It's truly a teamwork effort in television. I look forward to bringing you more programs in 2017 as we continue to focus on topics and people in the news in our area. I'm Judy Stiles. Thanks for joining us.